said, by the way, you're right. Because the only difference between nerves and excitement is what your mind is telling you about what's happening. I'm going to give you an example. So the last time I was nervous, I was standing in the middle school hallway, and we have a 13-year-old son who's won the genetic lottery with me and Chris. We've given him dyslexia, dysgraphia, ADHD, and we've thrown in some anxiety just to round him out a little bit. And we have to do these, the IEP meetings. I've got the dyslexia, clearly, so where we beg for services. And when I'm standing in that hallway, everybody, my stomach is in knots, and my armpits are sweating like Niagara Falls, and my heart is racing, my throat is tight, my hands are clammy, and I'm nervous. And I start thinking about the people that I don't like in that meeting, and what are we going to do if he doesn't get the services, and this isn't fair, and blah, 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 blah. And by the time I walk in there, I have worked myself up into such a frenzy that I start crying or screaming, okay? Can't even remember what I'm supposed to do. Nervous. Excitement. A moment that I was really, really excited. Backstage, I was standing there, and all the women who earned that car, I was high-fiving them. And I was thinking about how excited I was to get out here, and guess what? My stomach was in knots, and my armpits were sweating, and my heart was tight, my throat was clear, my hands. But my brain was going, I'm so excited, I'm so excited, I'm so excited. Well, you can use the fact that there's no difference in your body between nerves and excitement to your advantage. And here's the trick, you ready? The next time you're in a situation where you feel nervous, you're about to talk to somebody that you've been avoiding for 3 years about this opportunity, okay? And your stomach is in knots and your armpits, you're gonna just go, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to talk to him. I know it sounds like the dumbest thing in the world, doesn't it? But what actually happens is when you say I'm excited in a situation where your body is a little bit agitated, your body buys it. And the medical reason why this will work is because when you say you're excited in your brain, your body doesn't release cortisol. That's a stress hormone that hits your prefrontal cortex and makes it hard for you to remember what to say. It makes you have a hard time processing. There's a medical reason behind this. And when they taught this to students at Harvard Medical School, listen up, if you've got kids taking standardized tests, every single student that they taught to say, I'm excited to take this test, they performed better than the kids who were not taught to do this, because they were able to keep cortisol from hitting their body. And you're going to find out, just like Chris, it's kind of crazy. I used the 5-second rule to be excited instead of nervous, and it worked. You can hear that. You can hear the excitement. I mean, you can hear the surprise in that. And you need this, and let me tell you why. You need this because you're going to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push yourself, and then you got to know to go, I'm excited, I'm excited. Now let's take this a step further. And for those of you that have children that struggle with anxiety, please pay attention to what I'm about to teach you. Now, a lot of people look at me, especially when I'm on the stage, and they go, Mel, whatever. She was just born confident and annoying. Annoying for sure, just ask my parents and my brother. Confident, no way. No way. I think if babies can worry, that was me. I was the youngster that turned bright red when I got called on in class. I grew up in Western Michigan, and when I got sent to Girl Scout camp in Pentwater, I was so homesick, they sent me home. Like, you know how homesick you need to be for them to be like, you need to leave. This is not okay. By the time I was in college, it was full-blown anxiety. By the time I was in law school, it was panic disorder. A doctor put me on Zoloft at the age of 21, and it literally was a lifesaver for me at the moment. I stayed on that drug for 2 decades. In fact, the only time that I stopped taking it was when our first daughter was born, and she's now 19, and I had such severe postpartum depression, like the really scary kind where you can't be left alone, for 8 weeks. So when I talk about mindset, when I talk about mental health, when I talk about anxiety, I have lived this nightmare. And when I shared the 5-second rule and it started to spread around the world and people started to write, I gotta be honest with you, something happens to you. Something happens to you when you put an idea out there and people change their lives because of it. I mean, I was so humbled. I felt an obligation morally to really face my own personal demons. So about 5 years ago, I thought, I wonder if I could use the 5-second rule to change how I think. I wonder if I could cure myself of anxiety. The answer is, yes, you can. So I've been off meds for 5 years. I haven't had a panic attack about it. Heck, I don't worry about anything. And I want to teach you how to do the same thing. We're going to build on what you just learned about the fact that nervousness,